literally about, I was gonna say 500 times, but in reality, I've made it like 3 or 4 times. I made it for my parents, I made it for some friends, I made it for our kids, and then I made it for our kids again because it was so delicious. This trend, they're calling it a trend, but this recipe flooded TikTok. Like, flooded TikTok to the point where they were saying in Finland there was no block feta cheese to be found, and we went to every single store in the valley that we live, and everyone was like, we don't know why we're sold out. We're never sold out. Like, why are we so sold out? We found one at a natural grocery store. So I'm gonna show you this recipe that is genuinely delicious. The hype, it's all worth it. It's worth it. I'm going to be doubling everything because I have a family of 6. It's delicious, we eat a lot of it, so feel free to cut the recipe in half. I just got a new pan and it's huge, so if I can find a similar one, I'll link it in the description. But you literally just pour your tomatoes, your cherry tomatoes, into a pan. Stick your block of feta cheese right in the center. When I couldn't find these earlier, I just used crumbled feta and stuck it in the middle and it worked fine, but we're gonna see how it goes with the actual block. You're going to take an entire head of garlic and cut just the end of it off like this, so you're left with this. I'm gonna clear a little spot and I'm going to place it down like that, and I'm going to do one more over on this side. And you might be thinking that's a lot of garlic. Oh, it's going to be overwhelming. No, it's delicious. Just do it. You're going to take extra virgin olive oil. You can use as much or as little as you want. I'm going to drizzle it over everything, even over the cheese. Yes, it's a lot, but that's what we're doing. I am not shy with the oregano. I just layer this across the whole top, and I'm probably gonna go over and give it 2 layers. Okay, 2.5 layers. Let's do 3. Let's just do that. Okay, that looks good. I typically do not add salt to this, but I know Joel's going to be upset if I don't, so I'm going to add a little salt. You can salt it to your liking, salt and pepper. That's it, that's all he gets. I'll go heavier on the pepper. Who am I kidding? We're gonna double fist this because maybe I have weak thumbs, maybe it's the grinder, I don't really know. We're two-handing it here. I've got the oven at 400 degrees and I'm going to roast this. It's just on bake, but I'm going to cook it. Oh, you see my hand shaking? It was a little heavy. I'm gonna cook it for like 30-40 minutes until everything is like blistery and hot. So here is where everyone would normally cook their pasta and put pasta in with the sauce. This is a wonderful opportunity if you're wanting to substitute pastas out because they don't have a lot of nutritional value for veggies. That's what we're gonna do. I'm just going to rinse and cut the ends off of the zucchini and the squash. Once I've cut them into quarters, I go through and I take out the seeds, and it feels like I'm wasting half, well I am, I'm taking out half of the vegetable, so you're basically left with just the skin, but it doesn't get soggy. I will never do this differently. Like, this is such the perfect way to do it. You just cut out the zucchini seeds so that it doesn't get soggy, and I'm gonna stick it all in my frying pan. I put the veggies in the frying pan. I'm going to put a little bit of Italian seasoning over the top, and I'm just going to fry it up. I feel like it's moist enough with just the juices from the veggies, but if you want, you could add butter. If you want, you could add more oil. I'm just gonna leave it as is and fry it up. When my vegetables are halfway to soft, I'm going to add in a half a thing of mushrooms and a half a bag of spinach. And what I usually will do with these so that they don't go to waste is when this meal is all the way finished, whether we finish it tonight or whether we're done with leftovers, I'll usually just put it in with eggs. And so we continue to get the vegetables in, and it's just a way to utilize, and it gives me another meal idea for the week. I could have cut these with a knife, but I'm just gonna use my spatula and go through and just kind of chop up the mushrooms, because if they're big pieces, my kids will not eat them. But if they're small, they don't really notice them. And I piled the spinach on about as high as you could possibly go, and I'm just going to start mixing until the spinach gets withered. This is what everything looks like once it's been cooked down. I didn't add anything to it other than the seasoning, and I think it turns out great like that. And there's plenty of oil in the sauce, so you don't really need it. I chopped up some basil, and I took this out because it is now done. You can see the tomatoes are all wilted, the cheese is looking brown. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the garlic out and set it on my cutting board, and I'm just going to let those cool off for a second. Okay, I hope I don't splatter things, but you're just going to come in and smash everything, and it is so rewarding and satisfying. So I'll go through and do the tomatoes. I will also do the cheese. If you could smell this. You could put this in the blender if you're not a fan of textures. I personally really liked that there was bigger chunks of tomato, but it would be delicious if you put it in a blender. You could make tomato soup this way. It is so good. I would eat this any way possible. I'm almost done mixing this up, and I can definitely tell a difference between the feta crumble and the feta block. I'm sure they taste similar, but this is definitely more creamier. The sauce is all the way mixed, so now I'm just going to add in all of my veggies or your pasta, whichever you want. This is so burny hot, but like so deliciously satisfying. It's like kind of popping a zit. Doesn't that look so good? And you don't have to put all of this in the pasta. I mean, I'm going to because it's that good, but you could put it in the fridge and use this for later. You can see just how easy this smashes. If I would have baked it even longer, this would be like butter. I mean, it's pretty dang soft. It's smashing pretty easy. So I'm just gonna smash this up and then mix it in with all of my sauce and veggies, and along with my chopped up basil. Does this look like a pile of mush? Actually, it kind of does. Does it taste like absolute flippin' heaven? Yeah, it also does. I don't think anything will ever be as good as the very, very first time I made this. It blew my mind. However, it's delicious every time. The shock of the first time I tried this was insane. So the shock has worn off, but it is still fabulous. If you guys decide to make this, please tag me on Instagram. I will repost them, share them with the world, because the world needs more of this. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys. Would you like me to get you a plate?
I have one. Plenty good sized spoon. It's so good.
This is no exaggeration either. It's that good.
Seriously? You know the movie Ratatouille? This is what I figure it had to taste like. If it didn't taste anything like this, I don't want to eat it.